PG-13, this is G.I. Joe, 2009. We're looking at the Cobra Night Raven, as well as the Dragonhawk XH1, and the Sky Sweeper jet that I, just put Cobra stickers on instead of Joe stickers. So we're going to have a quick look at the Sky Sweeper first. Now this, when you look at the fire bat, you know it's pretty much a fire bat. So that's why I put the Cobra decals on it. The seats are interchangeable with the vintage, but I don't think some of the other parts are. But I did put some of the parts on, so it does have somewhat interchangeable parts, but the missiles do not fit. And this does have a few little missiles you can fire off by pushing a button. So they did reinvent this again. But it does look cool. But to me, that'll be a Cobra vehicle always, even though it's a Joe one for this year, because it's the fire bat. You know, the fire bat came with the Cobra Terradrome. So I'll just leave it be for Cobra. Now the Dragonhawk, this looks friggin' awesome. However, it's only a one-seater, the Dragonhawk. And you can take a look inside. It's got lots of space. So again, this is a cool vehicle. Fits your vintage figures. And this would be a cool troop builder. These do pop in, and then you just go like this, pull this back, and these pop out, so your missiles can pop in and out, just like so. And it does the rotor spin nice. It's got a cool little cannon underneath, and it even has a little handle so a figure's hand can grab on, and the wheels do actually spin a little bit. Just those two, I think. The back one does not, but this little rotor does spin. Stabilizer. So this is a cool vehicle if you want to have army builders. The Dragonhawk. Do love it. Now this Cobra Night Raven is just a slap in the face to the vintage Raven, but it's got some cool stuff. Like right here, you pull on this, and it's only a one-seater instead of a two-seater, so you can only fit one figure in there, and it kind of sucks that way. But you know, if you take your figure and you put a figure down in here, so the figure does fit in there very easily, I think. There we go. So we put our Strato Viper in there, but we might have to reconfigure. Might have to tuck your figure's arms in better. And there we go. So the figure does fit in there. Now the wheels on this, the wheels don't move. So that is a huge drawback. Like, you could probably cut these off and put on wheels that might maybe rig something up. But this also cocks back, and then you could fire these little missiles off of here. We're jammed. Technical difficulties. There we go. So you cock it. It's also got some sounds. Lights up. Now it is nice and light and small, but again, and you could fire off your missiles. So again, that's a huge drawback that, you know, the landing gear is fake. I mean, otherwise this would have been a pretty cool little jet. You know, have a quick look at the size. So we'll see how long it is. And it's about 20.5 inches. So again, for size wise, it's a large enough size, but this jet just doesn't cut it because of the landing gear. I mean, if it had nice landing gear, then it would have been perfect. These wings also can pop off pretty easily, just how they designed it. But overall, it is a cool looking jet. It's just really sad that they cheaped out on the landing gear. You know, I do have 2 of those, and I do have the vintage Night Ravens. You can check out my previous videos for vintage Night Ravens. Well, there's another vehicle. I mean, we could cram in more vehicles into this. So we're gonna throw one more in here. Now, the Cobra Gunship. You could fit a couple figures in there. So again, this is pretty neat. You can see there's engines in there, little bombs you put in here, and then they fall out the bottom here. The landing gear for this, it's got a little cannon here, and these do slide out a bit. So the Cobra Gunship, this is pretty cool. It holds 3. So you could already build these, but it looks like it's a failed helicopter that they could have built, you know? So you could technically convert this into a helicopter if you wanted, and you could drill this out or something and put a rotor blade in there. That might work. Huh. Or it might not. There's a screw there that holds that. But the Cobra Gunship is pretty basic. These go in. There you go. There's little buttons there to fire off the missiles. And let's see, push the button here. Oh. So it's got these little bombs that fit in there. So it's pretty neat that way. And then you just put them back in here. Oh, never mind, we just lost one. We didn't close the bottom hatch. Oh. No, we're gonna have to look for that. Technical difficulties. So it's a pretty simple device here. It's also got little hand grips that the figures can hold on. Now, you know, it doesn't have anything that inverts, which would have made it a little better. Unfortunately, we lost a piece now. I guess that must have fallen under. Oh, jeez. We could probably even get another vehicle in this review. But we have looked at some of these vehicles already, and they are pretty neat and unique. So overall, I mean, you could army build the Night Raven or Night Raven 2. But it isn't as good as the vintage because the wheels don't roll. So, again, however, these missiles are pretty cool. They do fire off nicely. And the helicopter does have 4 missiles. Oh. So, overall, I do recommend you get the Dragonhawk for sure. This is one of the finer, awesome helicopters. And I do like it. Fits nicely on the aircraft carrier. And well, China is preparing for war, so they're telling their forces to be combat ready. Well, first of all, why would you even allow China to surround your island? That's kind of stupid, you know. If China's sending like ships towards your island, wouldn't you think you'd just like shoot them because they're basically coming towards your island? We're just gonna surround you for a few days. Don't mind us, we're gonna have to practice until we get it right. Talk about stupidity. Who's in charge here? And another thing is, all these countries that are going on strike, you know, are these unions all communists? Because like they're causing all these disruptions. You know, they shouldn't be allowing any kind of strikes or anything like that. Same with those people that are in the government causing these strikes. Like, you gotta wonder if there's a part of the communist distraction. Because all these government employees being forced to strike right around the time when there's war. You know, it should be a no-brainer. There shouldn't be any strikes. Yes, people need higher wages. And another thing is, like, with the oil prices being raised by the Saudis, you know, we should just be able to go in there and say, hey, just go take them over. Kick these Saudis out, take over the oil, because the Saudis, you know, they disrespect us. Like, if it wasn't for the Western wealth in the first place, those Saudi countries wouldn't be rich. But if they're not going to go get the Saudi oil, then they better start drilling their own oil in North America. Because that's one of the vantage points that China's trying to do, is choke off our oil supply and basically cripple our economies. And another thing they're trying to do is the attack against the US dollar. So, but if they want to get any kind of trade, they're still going to have to trade in the dollar. So let's say the dollar loses its value by 50%, then, well, that's going to have devastating effects on the economy. And it is a shot from China. The communists are trying to collapse the Western economies. But now the Western economies can basically form a new international dollar with, you know, partnering up with the Europeans. So basically all Western countries will just form a new dollar, and it, you know, it'll still have a stronger backing. If they don't, then if the Americans are not smart enough to go in on it with Europe, make an international trade dollar that they can trade in, then the Americans are going to lose a lot if they don't do this. And well, it's going to try to cripple our purchasing power. So there's one thing that they can do. All Western countries get in on an international dollar, and then they could create their own World Monetary Fund. And the World Monetary Fund that they do have now should not be allowed to be given to any communist countries, only democratic countries. Alrighty, anyways, thanks for watching. So hopefully someone out there is paying attention to put that forward. Remember